It looks like just another coin. A small, copper disc, forgotten in a desk drawer, rattling around in a jacket pocket, or tossed in a dusty jar with pennies and buttons. But buried in the everyday clink of South African change lies a secret. A story almost no one knows. A mistake so rare, so strange, so impossible, that today, this coin could be worth up to $75 million. Yes, you heard that right. $75 million. In 1987, South Africa stood in the shadows of change. The winds of transformation were building, whispers of resistance, cries for freedom, and the stirrings of a nation at a tipping point. And in the midst of it all, the South African Mint was doing what it had always done, producing coins. Ordinary currency for an extraordinary time. One of those coins was the humble 2-cent piece, minted in bronze, bearing the image of two King Proteas, South Africa's national flower. Quiet. Simple. Easily overlooked. But not all of them followed the rules. Somewhere in the silence of the minting chambers, something slipped. A fluke of fate. A perfect storm of metal, machinery, and misalignment. One particular 1987 2-cent coin was struck unlike any other. And only one, yes, just one known example, is believed to exist. A legendary era coin. Struck on the wrong planchet, possibly one meant for a gold Krugerrand, bearing microscopic doubling on the date, and showing chemical inconsistencies that experts still can't explain. Numismatists call it the Golden Ghost, because this coin, though officially bronze, reflects an unmistakable golden sheen. It weighs more than a regular 2-cent, feels different in the hand. Rings like no other. And no one can explain it. Coin collectors have scoured the globe trying to find it. Museums have quietly made offers. Private collectors have gone to war over rumors. And today, its estimated value? $75 million. Not just because of the metal, or the rarity, but because of the myth. This coin is more than money. It's a phantom. A relic. A whispered legend passed from vault to vault, collector to collector. And maybe, just maybe, it's sitting in a coin jar near you. Golden hue, a shine unlike normal bronze coins, wrong weight, heavier than standard, normal equals 3G, unusual ring. Tap it gently, it should ring like gold, date doubling. The 1987 may appear slightly shadowed, mint state condition, minimal wear, sharp edges, clear design. If your 1987 2-cent coin matches even two of these signs, get it checked immediately. Have it examined by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Because if it's the coin, the Golden Ghost, you're not just holding a piece of change. You're holding a $75 million legend. Narrator, soft fade out. Not all treasure is buried. Not all gold is mined. Sometimes, the rarest riches hide in plain sight. In shoeboxes. In drawers. In our pockets. Coins are more than currency. They're moments, frozen in metal. And sometimes, those moments change everything. Subscribe for more coin mysteries, hidden history, and stories worth far more than gold. Comment below. Have you ever found a coin that felt different? We might just uncover your treasure next. Until then, keep looking closer. Because sometimes, the smallest coins carry the loudest echoes of the past.
It looks like just another coin, a small, ordinary disc of metal, tossed into a drawer or rattling in your change without a second thought. But buried within South Africa's aging currency is a secret almost no one knows, a twist of fate, a minting mistake, a fortune hidden in plain sight. And today, that mistake is worth up to $1 million. 1989, at a year just before the dawn. Apartheid was still standing, but only barely. The pressure of change was building. The nation teetered between repression and revolution. In the shadows of history, something extraordinary was quietly created. Among South Africa's standard coinage that year was the 20-cent coin. Modest, copper-nickel, and easily overlooked. But not all of them were ordinary. Somewhere, deep in the precision-driven process of minting, something slipped. A rare error was born. A coin unlike the rest. A misprint, a metal mismatch, a strike gone wrong, but perfectly wrong. Only a handful of these flawed 1989 20-cent pieces ever escaped into the world. And among those, one or two have been confirmed as possibly worth up to $1,000,000. Yes, $1 million. Why? Because in the world of numismatics, the elite realm of coin collecting, there are 4 golden rules. Rarity, condition, historical significance, minting error in this coin. Checks all 4. Rarity? Fewer than a dozen known examples with this error exist. Condition? A few have surfaced in uncirculated, mint state like time capsules. Historical significance? Minted just before South Africa's transformation. A snapshot of a nation on the edge. Error? A possible wrong planchet, struck on a blank meant for another coin, maybe even another country. These are not fakes. Not forgeries. Not fantasy pieces. They are official, authentic, and unexpected, and they're worth a fortune, not just in currency, but in context. Because sometimes collectors don't just chase coins. They chase stories, moments frozen in metal, symbols of struggle, souvenirs of survival. And that brings us to you. You might be holding a piece of this legacy without even realizing. So how do you know if you've got the $1 million 1989 20-cents? Here's what to look for. On screen list appears. Wrong planchet, the coin feels too light, too heavy, or sounds off when dropped off center strike. The design is misaligned or partly missing double strike. Parts of the image or text are repeated color variation. It looks unusually silver or gold-toned uncirculated condition. Crisp edges, high detail. Nowhere, like it was never used. If your 1989 South African 20-cents has more than one of these signs, don't ignore it. You might be holding something far more valuable than spare change. Have it authenticated by a professional numismatic grading service, like PCGS or NGC. They can confirm its rarity, its condition, and yes, its true market value. Because the real worth isn't just the coin, it's the story it carries, a story of a country on the brink. A coin struck just before rebirth and accident. That became a legend. That coin jar in your kitchen? That drawer in your father's desk? That old stash of coins from years ago? There's a chance, slim but real, that you could be holding the rarest South African 20-cents ever minted. And if it is, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding $1 million legacy. Because this isn't about metal, it's about meaning, a flawed coin from a flawless moment in history, a relic of a country learning to breathe again. Not all treasures glitter. Not all legends are locked in vaults. Some are sitting in your hand. If this story sparked your curiosity, there's so much more to uncover. Subscribe for rare coin deep dives, forgotten histories, and financial folklore you can actually hold. Drop a comment if you've ever found an odd coin. We might feature your discovery next. Until then, keep collecting and keep looking closer, because sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest stories.